In this module, we'll talk about array indexing and slicing. If you're not familiar with Python list, I will advise you to take my Introductory to Python course, which is actually free. Now, coming from the Python background, we know that we can index a list in Python by the position, and we can also get subset of a list by slicing method. Here I have created a NumPy array of numbers, and we can access the elements by the index values just like we do with lists. If you're new to list or you're new to Python, I'm going to show you how this is done. When we want to index the value of an array, we start with index 0. So that means if we want to get the value 1, we start with a square bracket followed by the number 0. Let's say, for example, we actually want to index and get the value 5. It means we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means that the index value for number 5 is index 4. Can you take a guess for what the index value 10 will be? I hope you said 9. Otherwise, let me show you how we got that. So starting from index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we move to accessing a subset of elements. The syntax for subsets is shown. We put the index that we want to start with, the index that we want to end with, and the number of steps we want to skip or we want to take for each indexing until it gets from the beginning to the end. As you would see here, we have not put a step because the step value is 1 by default. That is just one element at a time. And here we want to extract the element between the first index and the 6th index. So this is index 0, this is index 1. So it starts from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is because 7 here is the 6th index. So it ends at that index. Now moving from this to when we add the step as seen here, we start from index 0 and pick the value, and then we start taking 2 steps until we get to index 9. Let's do that manually. So this is index 0, and we can see that here is selected. Then we take 1, 2, and then the next one is 3. As we see here, the next one is 3 after that. We take 2 steps and then we pick the value in that 2 steps. Now we'll go to when we actually have step in between. We start with index 0 and then end at index 9 with 2 steps. So we start with index 0. What is the value of index 0? We have 1, and then we take 2 steps. And then the value at the step that we take, the second step is the value that we pick. So from 1, we take 2 steps, which is 1, 2. What is the value when we landed at 2? 3. So that is why we have 3 here. And then we take another 2 steps. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 7. 1 and 2, 9. This is how we arrive at the values here because we take 2 steps. And we have stopped at 9 because the end indexing, as we see in this syntax, is actually 9. We can also do what we call negative indexing, which is basically counting from the end. What I've shown you before is counting from the beginning. So when we start from the beginning, we start with 0, index 1. However, when we do the negative indexing, we start from behind, and it's not -0. We actually start from -1. So -1, -2. If I show you the value of what -1 is here, you see that is now 10. Well, let's change that back. All right. So as you see here, the indexing here is -1. And the indexing here is -2. So we expect this to be number 10 and we expect this to be number 9 as expected.
Hello there. If you have enjoyed this course so far, kindly support me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe will also help you know when newer courses are released. Thank you for subscribing. I do hope you have. Let's carry on with the course.
Also, there is an extension of this negative indexing where we can actually slice from the last 3 elements. When we want to slice from the last 3 elements, instead of just adding the last -3, because -3 here just pick third element from behind from the last value. However, if we want to take all the last 3 values, we add a column right here. The same thing is extended to where we want to slice from index -5 to index -1. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So we expect it to return 6 to 10. And let's look at that here. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, okay, I think I'm in the, yeah, this is the one we are looking for. Yes, as you will see, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it takes the number between -5 to -1. And you will see that it has excluded -1 because it's supposed to stop just before -1. And here we'll see that that has returned the last 3 elements. We also have some manipulation that we can do with NumPy array. One of them is called the element-wise multiplication. This is extensible to division, addition, and all of those mathematical operations. Here I am showing you an example of element-wise multiplication. And this means we simply want to apply this multiplication to every element in our array. So 1 to 10, we want to multiply it by 2. And as seen here, the result shows us exactly that. We can also reshape an array. So before I show you that, I want to show you what the array that we are currently working with looks like before we reshape. And if we do a dot shape, you can see it tells us it's just 10 elements. Now we want to reshape it into an array of 1 by 5. I want you to tell me why you think we cannot reshape it 1 by 5. But probably before you think about it, let's make it 2 by 5. That's right. That's because we have 10 elements in the array and then we want to reshape it to 1 by 5. And that's not possible because we have 10 elements. 1 by 5, we only make it, it's like we are creating something that is impossible because we cannot create a 1 by 5 that is one dimension with just 5 elements with 10 elements. And that is why when you are reshaping, whatever you are reshaping, when you multiply it and look at where you are coming from and the math is not adding up, it means that you have not done something right. And as you would see here, now we have divided that same array that is 1D, we have reshaped it to 2 by 5. That is, it should give us 2 rows but 5 columns. And of course, that is possible. I want you to look at this transpose and think for a second what is wrong with this code. I hope you guessed right because we are trying to reshape this same array that is 2 by 5 to a 5 by 1. And of course, that is not possible because we have an array of 2 rows and 5 columns. And there's no way we can turn it to an array of 5 rows with just 1 column. And the fix to that, as you may have guessed, is also changing it to 2. And that has made it 5 rows and 2 columns for us. Moving to multidimensional arrays, you can see here that I have an array of 3 columns and 3 rows. Now, I want to show you indexing in multidimensional arrays. Here we are printing the element at row 1 and column 2. And The way we have done that is just to declare the variable. The first element should be the row, while the second element should be the column. So when you look at this, the first row is 1, 2, 3. However, we want to print the value in the second column. And that is exactly what we are going to see. The value here is 6 because this is 0, 1, 2. So this is the first row, this is the second row, and this is the last row. However, this is the first row, second row, third row, but the indexing is 0, 1, 2.
Hello there. If you have enjoyed this course so far, kindly support me and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe will also help you know when newer courses are released. Thank you for subscribing. I do hope you have. Let's carry on with the course.